Alright everyone, stop scrolling, seriously, put down that cat video for just a second because what I'm about to share could genuinely be the easiest, most straightforward path for nurses looking to relocate internationally in 2025. I know you're thinking, Graham, what are you talking about? International relocation is a nightmare of paperwork and fees. But hear me out on this one. We're talking about a country that most people, especially in the nursing field, completely overlook. And that, as you know, is often where the biggest, juiciest opportunities are hiding, just waiting for someone smart enough to see them. This isn't just another clickbait title. This is a real, actionable strategy. So let's cut right to the chase, because I know your time is valuable, just like mine. We're talking no IELTS. That's right, you can put away those expensive test prep books and forget about the stress of hitting that magical band score that so many other countries demand. We're talking no exorbitant agent fees. You don't need to pay some middleman thousands of dollars just to get your foot in the door. Money that you could be investing or, actually using to build your life. And yes, despite what you might have heard, free visa sponsorship is absolutely still on the table, very much available for qualified candidates. It's almost like a secret handshake. And today I'm letting you in on it. Now, why is Russia the focus here? It's simple. Most nurses are looking at the UK, Canada, Australia, the usual suspects. And because everyone is looking there, the competition is fierce, the requirements are sky high, and the costs can be astronomical. But Russia, it's flying under the radar, and that's precisely why it's a golden opportunity right now. Hospitals across the country are actively hiring international nurses as we speak. They're not just passively waiting, they're seeking you out. And to sweeten the deal, many are offering incredible packages that include free accommodation. Imagine not having to worry about rent when you first land, free Russian language support to get you up to speed, and comprehensive visa sponsorship often after just one successful interview. It's a package deal that's hard to ignore. Before we dive deep into the how-to, the nitty-gritty details of making this happen, I want to give a massive thank you to our incredible community. We've just crossed 45,000 subscribers, and honestly, that's amazing. I appreciate every single one of you who tunes in, comments, and supports the channel. But here's a crazy statistic for you. Over 90% of the people watching this video right now, yes, probably you, haven't subscribed yet. If you're getting value, if you want more insights like this, do me a quick favor and smash that subscribe button. It's free, it takes 2 seconds, and it genuinely helps the channel grow and reach more nurses who need this information. Alright, enough of that, let's begin. So, the big question then, the one probably bouncing around in your head right now is, why Russia? Of all places, why should a qualified nurse even consider packing their bags and heading to the Russian Federation? Well, here's what most people, and I mean even seasoned international recruiters, don't fully grasp or often don't talk about. Russia is currently experiencing a significant and widespread nursing shortage. This isn't just a minor blip, it's a structural issue, particularly acute in the vast rural areas and smaller cities that make up so much of the country. This shortage creates a vacuum, a demand that local supplies simply isn't meeting, and that's where the opportunity for international nurses like you comes into sharp focus. Now let's tackle what might be your next concern, the language barrier. Graham, you're saying, I don't speak Russian. How on earth can I work as a nurse there? And that's a valid thought, but here's the kicker that makes Russia stand out. Most of these hospital jobs do not require IELTS or TOEFL. Let me repeat that because it's a game changer, no high-stakes English proficiency tests. Instead, what they're looking for is a commitment to learn basic Russian, typically around an A2 or B1 level. This is conversational Russian, enough to handle daily interactions and, crucially, patient communication in a healthcare setting. This dramatically lowers the barrier to entry compared to English-speaking countries, saving you time, money, and a whole lot of stress. But the advantages don't stop at a lower language hurdle. Let's talk about the financial incentives, because these are seriously compelling. Many Russian hospitals, especially those actively recruiting international talent, are offering packages that include a free visa. That's the entire costly and complicated visa process, handled and paid for by your employer. On top of that, free housing is a common perk, often a dedicated apartment or a room in a nurse's dormitory, which immediately slashes your biggest living expense. Some hospitals even throw in free meals, particularly if you're working shifts within the hospital itself. Think about the combined value of these benefits. It's thousands of dollars in savings up front. And what about the actual earnings? You can expect to earn somewhere in the range of $600 to $1,200 per month. Now, I know what you're thinking, Graham, that doesn't sound like a fortune compared to salaries in the US or UK. And you'd be right, but here's the crucial context. That salary combined with the often included free housing and low cost of living in many Russian cities is more than enough to cover your full living expenses comfortably and even save a bit. Russia is significantly cheaper than Western Europe, North America, or Australia. Plus, the entire process, from application to actually starting your job, can be much, much faster. It's a practical, accessible route that many overlook. Alright, so you're intrigued by the idea of Russia, the low barrier to entry, the free visa, the housing. It all sounds pretty good, right? But the next logical question is, who exactly can apply for these nursing positions? What are the specific eligibility criteria you need to meet? Well, the good news is that the requirements are surprisingly straightforward and inclusive, much more so than many other popular destinations for nurses. If you can tick off these 5 key conditions that I'm about to lay out, then you are very likely eligible to start this journey. The first, and most fundamental, is your nursing qualification. You generally need to hold either a GNM, which is a General Nursing and Midwifery diploma, or a BSc in nursing. This immediately opens the door for a vast number of nurses globally. The second crucial requirement is that you must possess a valid nursing license in your home country. This demonstrates that you are recognized as a competent professional in your current jurisdiction and are in good standing with your local nursing board. Alongside this, you'll typically need at least 1 year of practical nursing experience. And here's another point of flexibility. This experience can be from a hospital setting, which is quite standard, or it can be from home care. This inclusion of home care experience is a significant advantage for many nurses whose primary work might have been outside the traditional hospital walls, making the pool of eligible candidates even wider. It shows they value diverse nursing backgrounds. Third on the list is a willingness to learn basic Russian. Notice the wording there, willingness. You don't need to be fluent before you apply. You don't need to have already passed a language exam. What employers are looking for is your commitment to acquiring the necessary language skills, typically to an A2 or B1 level, which is achievable with dedicated study. This is about your attitude and your proactive approach to integrating into their healthcare system. And fourth, as with most international employment, you must have no criminal record or any serious medical disqualifications that would prevent you from working in a healthcare role or living in Russia. This is standard due diligence to ensure patient safety and public health. And here's a point I really want to emphasize because it directly addresses a huge segment of our audience. Even if you are a diploma nurse, for instance, holding a GNM from countries like India, Nigeria, the Philippines, or Kenya, you are eligible. This is a massive green light. Many Western countries have increasingly stringent requirements, often heavily favoring degree holders or requiring lengthy and expensive conversion courses for diploma nurses. Russia, due to its specific needs and approach, offers a more welcoming pathway for experienced and qualified diploma nurses from these nations. It's about recognizing your skills and your potential contribution, which is a refreshing change of pace. Alright, let's dive into the nitty-gritty, the part where so many people stumble right out of the gate document translation and evaluation. Now I know what you're thinking, paperwork. Graham, seriously? But trust me on this, if you mess this up, your dream of working as a nurse in Russia is over before it even begins. This isn't like forgetting to dot an I on a rental application. We're talking about official government processes here. The key player you need to impress is Roszdravnadzor, which is essentially Russia's health authority. They are the gatekeepers, and their approval is non-negotiable. Think of this step as laying the foundation for a house. If the concrete is bad, the whole thing comes crashing down. So, pay very close attention because getting this right saves you time, money, and a massive headache down the line. So what exactly are these golden documents that Roszdravnadzor is so interested in? First up, your nursing qualification, your diploma or degree certificate. This proves you actually studied nursing. Then, equally important, is your current nursing license from your home country. And don't forget your academic transcript. They want to see the subjects you studied and your grades. You'll also need a clear copy of your passport, the main identification document, and then come the medicals, a recent HIV test result and a general medical certificate confirming you're fit to work. Each of these documents tells a part of your story and verifies your credentials and health status. Without every single one of these meticulously prepared, your application simply won't proceed. It's a checklist, and you need to tick every box correctly. Now, just having these documents isn't enough. This is where it gets a bit more complex. Every single one of these documents must be professionally translated into Russian. And no, Google Translate won't cut it here, folks. You need certified translations. After translation, most, if not all of these documents will need to be notarized. This means an official notary public verifies the authenticity of the document and the translation. And then, depending on your country of origin and its treaties with Russia, some documents might also require an apostille. An apostille is an international certification that authenticates the origin of public documents for use in foreign countries. It sounds complicated, and honestly it can be if you're trying to navigate this bureaucratic maze on your own for the first time. This is precisely why handling this step correctly is paramount. And frankly, it's where a lot of people either give up or make costly mistakes. Imagine spending money on translations only to find out they weren't done to the required standard, or missing an apostille and having your entire application rejected, forcing you to start all over again. That's not just lost time, it's lost money and a huge demotivator. This is where guidance, like the mentorship I offer, or in this case the mentorship Gopal provides, becomes invaluable. It's about having a step-by-step process, knowing which translators are reliable, understanding the exact notarization and apostille requirements for your specific situation. It's about doing it once and doing it right, so you can move on to the next exciting step. Okay, moving on to step 2, and this is a big one that often surprises people in a good way. You do need IELTS or TOEFL to become a nurse in Russia. Let that sink in for a moment. For anyone who's looked into nursing opportunities in countries like the UK, USA, or Canada, you know that passing those English language proficiency tests can be a significant hurdle, not to mention expensive and time-consuming. So the fact that Russia doesn't require them is a massive advantage right off the bat. However, and this is a crucial however, you will absolutely need to learn some basic Russian. You're going to be working with Russian patients, Russian colleagues, and living in Russia. So expecting to get by with zero Russian is just unrealistic and frankly unhelpful for your career there. So how do you tackle learning Russian, especially if it seems like a daunting language? The good news is you don't need to become a literary scholar overnight. We're talking about achieving a basic conversational and professional level. Think a 2 or B1 on the Common European Framework of Reference for Languages. Apps like Duolingo or Memrise are fantastic starting points. They gamify the learning process and can help you build a foundational vocabulary and grasp basic grammar. The key here is consistency. Even dedicating just 15 to 20 minutes a day, every single day, can make a huge difference over a few months. It's about building a habit, making small, consistent efforts that compound over time, much like saving and investing. Don't try to cram it all in at once. Slow and steady wins the race here. When you're learning, it's super important to focus your efforts strategically. Don't just learn random words and phrases. You need to prioritize speaking and listening comprehension. While reading and writing are useful, your immediate need in a hospital setting will be verbal communication. And critically, you need to concentrate on healthcare-specific vocabulary. Learn how to ask about symptoms, understand patient complaints, communicate with doctors and other nurses about medical conditions and treatments. Knowing how to say hello is great, but knowing how to ask, "Where does it hurt?" is infinitely more practical for your job. Aim for that A2/B1 level, which is generally enough to handle simple routine interactions and understand instructions, especially for interviews and initial workplace integration. And here's another piece of good news that should ease some of the pressure. Some hospitals in Russia actually offer free Russian language classes after you've been selected and arrived. This is a fantastic benefit because it shows they are invested in your success and integration. So, while you absolutely need to put in the effort to learn the basics beforehand to pass your interviews and get started, You don't have to be perfectly fluent before you land. The hospital will often help you continue to improve your language skills once you're on the ground. So don't panic if you're not a Russian language expert right away. The willingness to learn and making a genuine effort is what truly counts. And these resources can really help you accelerate your learning curve significantly. Alright, this next step, step 3, is arguably one of the most crucial in your entire journey: applying to verified employers. I cannot stress this enough, where you apply matters immensely. You can have perfect documents, speak passable Russian, but if you're sending your CV into the void, or worse, to sketchy, unverified sources, you're just wasting your precious time and energy. This is where strategic action is key. It's not just about applying. It's about applying to the places that are genuinely hiring international nurses and, importantly, are willing and able to provide that all-important visa sponsorship. Think of it like fishing. You need to know where the fish are biting, not just cast your line randomly into the ocean. So where should you be looking? Let's start with the official channels. A great place to begin is trudvsum.ru, which is Russia's national job portal, run by the government. It's comprehensive, and you can often find listings from state hospitals across the country. Another massive platform is hh.ru, Headhunter Russia. This is one of the biggest, if not the biggest, private job sites in Russia and the CIS region. Many private clinics and larger hospital groups list their vacancies here. Using these platforms requires a bit of know-how, perhaps using browser translation tools initially, and crafting your search queries effectively to find nursing positions that are open to foreign candidates. These are legitimate starting points for your job search. Beyond the big job portals, you need to consider the different types of employers. There are private hospitals, particularly in major cities like Moscow, St. Petersburg, Kazan, or even Sochi. These often cater to a mix of local and sometimes international patients and might offer competitive salaries, though the cost of living in these cities can also be higher. Then there are the government hospitals, especially those located in smaller cities or regional centers. Now don't immediately dismiss these smaller city options. Often these government hospitals in less populated areas are the ones with the most acute nursing shortages, and as a result might offer even better benefits packages, such as more comprehensive housing support or even meal provisions, to attract qualified staff. This is where targeted information, like the kind provided in Gopal's Mentorship, becomes incredibly valuable. The Mentorship includes a curated list of verified Russian hospitals that are actively hiring international nurses right now and, crucially, have a track record of providing visa support. This isn't just a random list, it's researched and vetted. Having access to such a list saves you countless hours of searching, filtering, and trying to determine the legitimacy of various offers. It directs your efforts towards employers who are genuinely looking for candidates like you and are prepared to help with the immigration process. This is about working smarter, not just harder, to significantly increase your chances of securing a solid job offer with the necessary backing. Alright, so you've impressed a Russian hospital, they've seen your potential, and boom, you receive that all-important work invitation letter. Let me tell you, this document is basically your golden ticket, the official nod that a legitimate Russian employer wants you on their team and is ready to sponsor your journey. This isn't just some casual email. It's a formal, government-recognized invitation that forms the bedrock of your visa application. Holding this letter means you've successfully navigated the initial hurdles, your qualifications have been acknowledged, and a healthcare facility in Russia is genuinely invested in bringing you over. It's a moment of triumph, but also the signal that the next phase of precise, careful action is about to begin, so keep that focus sharp. Once that precious invitation letter is in your hands, the next crucial hurdle is securing the correct visa. And for working as a nurse in Russia, this means you'll be applying for what's known as a Type V work visa. This isn't your standard tourist visa, mind you. This is the one that officially permits you to be employed and earn an income within the Russian Federation, a very important distinction. You'll need to gather your documents, your passport, that vital invitation letter, recent photographs, a meticulously completed visa application form, and potentially another HIV test certificate, depending on the embassy's current rules, and submit this package to your local Russian embassy or consulate. Always, and I mean always, double-check their specific website for the most up-to-date checklist and procedures, because requirements can sometimes vary slightly, and you want to avoid any rookie mistakes. So, you've got your visa, you've booked your flight, and you've landed in Russia. Fantastic! But don't unpack and relax just yet, because there are a couple of immediate administrative tasks. Upon arrival, you'll receive a migration card, usually filled out on the plane or at immigration. This small piece of paper is incredibly important, so keep it safe with your passport. Then, within 7 working days of your arrival, you must register your stay with the local authorities. Now, often your employer, especially if it's a larger hospital providing accommodation, will handle this registration process for you, which is a huge help. However, it's your responsibility to ensure it's done, as failing to register can lead to fines or more serious complications down the line. With the initial visa and registration formalities out of the way, you'll typically enter what's called a professional adaptation period. Think of this as a supervised integration phase, almost like an extended internship, where you get accustomed to the specific protocols, equipment, and practices within the Russian healthcare system. It's a bridge ensuring your skills and experience align with local standards. Following this period, and once you've demonstrated your competence and further acclimatized, you'll then proceed to apply for your permanent nursing license through the relevant Russian Nursing Council. This final step solidifies your status as a fully licensed nurse in Russia, allowing you to practice with more autonomy. It's all manageable, especially if you're prepared and, dare I say, have some solid guidance. Now, let's talk about the numbers, because I know that's what everyone's really interested in, the salary and benefits. As a nurse in Russia, you can typically expect to earn a monthly salary ranging from around $600 to $1,200. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking, especially if you're comparing it to salaries in places like the US or the UK, but hold on. You absolutely have to factor in the significantly lower cost of living in Russia. That $600 to $1,200 goes a lot further there than it would in many Western countries. Your actual take-home relative to expenses can be quite comfortable. This range will, of course, depend on your experience, the specific region you're in. Moscow will differ from a smaller city, and whether you're at a private or state-run facility. The key takeaway here is that it's not about getting rich overnight, but about securing a stable income that allows for a good quality of life and the ability to save. One of the biggest game changers in the financial equation for nurses in Russia is the provision of free housing by most employers, especially government hospitals. This is a massive perk, let me tell you. Accommodation is often one of the largest monthly expenses, and having that covered significantly boosts your disposable income. Typically, this might mean a room in a hospital dormitory or a shared apartment with other medical staff. While it might not be a luxury penthouse, it's safe, clean, and most importantly, free. Imagine not having to worry about rent, and often even basic utilities are included. This benefit alone can effectively add hundreds of dollars back into your pocket each month, making that $600 to $1,200 salary feel much more substantial. Beyond the salary and free housing, there are other valuable benefits often included in the package for nurses. Many hospitals, particularly those with staff canteens, offer optional free meals during your shifts. This not only saves you money on groceries and cooking, but also saves you precious time, which is always a bonus. You'll also be entitled to paid annual leave and public holidays, and Russia has quite a few of those, giving you opportunities to rest, explore the country, or even visit home. Furthermore, as we've touched upon, many employers understand the importance of language integration and will provide or subsidize Russian language lessons, even after you've started working, which is an investment in your long-term success and comfort. So when you put it all together, the salary, the free accommodation, potentially free meals, paid time off, and language support, you're looking at a pretty comprehensive package. No, you're not going to be buying a Lamborghini on this salary, let's be realistic. But you will be able to live comfortably, cover all your essential expenses, experience a new culture, gain valuable international nursing experience, and, if you're sensible with your finances, save a decent amount of money. For many nurses looking for an accessible route to work abroad without incurring massive debt or facing years of complex credentialing, Russia presents a very practical and financially viable option. It's about smart career positioning. Alright, this is a critical chapter, folks, because making the move to work in another country is a big deal, and there are pitfalls you absolutely need to sidestep. The first major mistake to avoid, and I see this happen all too often, is falling for agents who demand hefty sums of money up front with promises of guaranteed jobs in Russia. Let me be crystal clear. For nursing positions in Russia, especially through the channels we're discussing, you generally do not need to go through paid agents. The system is designed for direct applications, or applications through official government portals. If someone is asking for thousands of dollars, claiming they have exclusive access or can bypass official procedures, your alarm bells should be ringing louder than a fire truck. These are often scams, so guard your money and stick to legitimate routes. The second mistake ties closely to the first. Don't just blindly apply on any random job website you stumble across on the internet. There are countless websites out there, and unfortunately not all of them are legitimate or list genuine verified vacancies. Some are outdated, some might be phishing for your personal information, and others might list non-existent jobs. You need to be strategic and use verified, reputable sources. We've already mentioned official portals which is Russia's national job site, and major job boards like. Sticking to these, or to direct applications to hospitals whose legitimacy you can verify, significantly reduces your risk of wasting time, effort, and potentially falling victim to a scam. Always do your due diligence on the platform itself before submitting applications. Next up, and this might seem obvious after our previous discussions, but it's a mistake that can seriously derail your chances. Don't ignore or underestimate the Russian language preparation. Even if a hospital says they only require basic A2/B1 level for the interview and might offer classes later, making a genuine effort to learn the language you even apply, and certainly before you arrive, is crucial. Neglecting this can lead to immense difficulties in your daily life outside of work, misunderstandings with patients which can have serious consequences, and challenges communicating effectively with your colleagues and supervisors. Starting your language journey early with tools like Duolingo or Memories, focusing on conversational Russian and healthcare vocabulary, will make your interviews smoother, your adaptation period easier, and your overall experience far more positive. Finally, and this is a non-negotiable, do not under any circumstances attempt to use a tourist visa to enter Russia with the intention of working. This is illegal, plain and simple. If you're caught working on a tourist visa, you could face severe penalties, including hefty fines, immediate deportation, and a ban on re-entering Russia for several years, effectively ending your Russian nursing dream before it even begins. You must go through the proper channels and obtain the Type V work visa, which is specifically designed for employment, and which you can only get after receiving that official work invitation from your sponsoring hospital. Trying to find shortcuts with visas is a high-risk, low-reward strategy that can have devastating long-term consequences for your career and travel prospects. Always follow the correct legal procedures. Alright, so we've gone through all the steps, the requirements, the benefits, and even the mistakes to avoid. Now I get it, this whole process might still sound a little overwhelming, maybe even a bit complicated. And let's be honest, navigating international job applications, especially with language barriers and different bureaucratic systems, can be a real headache. That's precisely why I've put together my comprehensive 2-month mentorship program for just £89.99, which, if you think about the cost of making a mistake or the time wasted going it alone, is an absolute steal. I'll personally guide you through every single stage. This isn't just about information, it's about a clear, actionable roadmap and dedicated support to get you from where you are now to successfully working as a nurse in Russia. We're talking about minimizing stress and maximizing your chances of success. First up, and this is absolutely crucial, we tackle your CV with an ATS correction service. What's ATS? It stands for Applicant Tracking System, and believe me, most hospitals, especially the ones getting tons of applications, use this software to filter candidates before a human even glances at your resume. If your CV isn't formatted correctly or doesn't hit the right keywords, it's going straight to the digital rejection pile. It's a harsh reality, but it's true. We'll optimize your CV to ensure it sails through these filters, highlighting your skills and experience in a way that Russian employers will immediately recognize and value. This step alone can be the difference between your application being seen or completely ignored. And frankly, it's an investment in getting your foot in the door. Next, you'll receive 10 customized cover letters specifically tailored for Russian hospital applications. Generic cover letters just don't cut it anymore, especially when you're trying to stand out in an international pool of candidates. Each letter will be crafted to resonate with the expectations of Russian healthcare institutions, showcasing your unique qualifications and your genuine interest in working there. Think about the time and effort this saves you. No more staring at a blank page, wondering what to write, or using a template that thousands of other applicants might also be using. We'll make sure your first impression is professional, compelling, and culturally appropriate, significantly boosting your chances of landing those all-important interviews. This is about presenting yourself in the best possible light from the very first contact. And it doesn't stop there. The mentorship includes access to my verified list of Russian hospitals that are actively hiring international nurses right now and, crucially, offer visa support. This isn't some random list scraped off the internet. These are employers I've researched. We'll also develop a personalized application strategy, figuring out which types of hospitals and regions best suit your profile and preferences. Then comes interview preparation. We'll go through common questions, cultural nuances for Russian interviews, and how to present yourself confidently. And perhaps most importantly, you get direct WhatsApp support from me until you're hired. Yes, you heard that right. Ongoing support. If you're serious about making this move, just comment below, Russia plus mentorship, and I'll reach out to help you personally get started on this incredible journey. So, there you have it. A comprehensive guide to becoming a nurse in Russia, a path that genuinely could be your hidden shortcut to working abroad. But, and this is a big but, it's only a shortcut if you approach it the right way, armed with the correct information and a solid strategy. It's not about just blindly sending out applications. It's about being smart, prepared, and understanding the specific requirements of the Russian system. The opportunities are there, as we've discussed. The nursing shortage is real, the benefits like free housing are attractive, and the cost of living is significantly lower. This isn't a get-rich-quick scheme, but it's a solid, viable pathway to gaining international experience and living comfortably while doing what you love. I also want to take a moment to say a massive thank you. We recently hit 45,000 subscribers on this channel, and honestly, that's incredible. It means so much to me that this content is reaching and helping so many nurses like you around the world. Every subscription, every like, every comment, it all contributes to building this community and allows me to continue creating these detailed guides. Knowing that we're making a tangible difference in people's career aspirations is the biggest motivation. Your support helps the channel grow, and more importantly, it helps us reach even more nurses who might be looking for these kinds of opportunities but don't know where to start. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you for being a part of this journey. And if you haven't joined our community yet, if you're watching this and you're a nurse thinking about your future, please consider clicking that subscribe button. It's completely free, and it really does make a huge difference to the channel. Hitting subscribe ensures you don't miss out on future videos, where we'll continue to explore opportunities like this one, break down complex processes, and provide actionable advice to help you advance your nursing career internationally. Plus, it helps YouTube show these videos to more people who could genuinely benefit from this information. It's a small click for you, but it has a big impact on our ability to keep producing valuable content for the nursing community worldwide. Finally, if you have any questions about anything we've covered today, feel free to drop them in the comments section below. I always do my best to go through them. However, please understand that due to the volume, I prioritize responding to channel members and of course those within the mentorship program. It's just a way for me to manage my time effectively and provide the most focused support. I hope you found this guide incredibly useful. Get ready for the next video, and I truly wish you the very best of luck with your potential Russian nursing journey. It's an exciting prospect, and with the right approach, it's definitely achievable. So, as we wrap up this detailed exploration of nursing opportunities in Russia, I want to reiterate one key takeaway. This is a genuinely viable and potentially life-changing path for qualified nurses seeking international experience, especially those who might find the barriers to entry in countries like the UK, USA, or Australia a bit too high right now. Russia offers a unique combination of demand, support in terms of visa and housing, and a significantly lower cost of living, which means your earnings can go a lot further. My commitment here on this channel is to continue bringing you practical, no-nonsense advice, cutting through the noise to give you the information you actually need to make informed decisions about your career and your future. However, even with all the guidance provided in this video, and potentially through the mentorship, it's absolutely essential that you approach this with diligence and a commitment to doing your own thorough research. The information I provide is a starting point, a roadmap, but your personal journey will require your active participation and effort. Take the tips on document preparation seriously. Dedicate real time to learning basic Russian. These aren't just suggestions, they are critical components for success. Remember, any international move is a significant undertaking, and being well prepared is your best strategy for a smooth transition and a positive experience. Don't just dream about it, start taking concrete steps today. And if you're feeling like you need that extra layer of structured support, that personalized guidance to navigate each step efficiently and avoid common pitfalls, then the mentorship program we discussed earlier is something you should seriously consider. It's designed to be an intensive, supportive experience that fast-tracks your application process by providing you with the tools, resources, and direct access you need. Think of it as an investment in yourself and your career, aimed at saving you time, money, and a whole lot of stress in the long run. Taking decisive action is often what separates those who achieve their goals from those who just think about them. This could be your moment to act. Thank you once again for watching all the way through. I truly appreciate your time and attention. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps the YouTube algorithm show it to more nurses who could benefit. Don't forget to share it with any colleagues or friends who might be interested in nursing opportunities abroad. And of course, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss out on any future content. We've got a lot more valuable information coming your way. Until next time, stay focused, stay motivated, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.